Hello, aspiring chemists. Welcome to a fascinating journey into the heart of molecular structures. Today, we are diving deep into resonance, a concept that unlocks the true nature of chemical bonds. We'll start with the basics, then gradually build up to advanced G-level insights, exploring how electrons truly behave within molecules. Get ready to unravel the mysteries of chemical stability and reactivity. Ready to discover why some molecules defy simple bonding rules? Let's begin our easy exploration of resonance and see how electrons surprise us. Imagine you have a molecule, but a single drawing just doesn't capture its real essence. That's where resonance comes in. It's a concept used when one Lewis structure isn't enough. Instead, we draw multiple hypothetical structures, called resonance structures, to show how electrons can be arranged. The actual molecule isn't any one of these, it's a blend, a hybrid, of all of them, depicted by a special double-headed arrow. So, what makes a molecule eligible for resonance? First, you need conjugation, that's alternating single and multiple bonds, or a lone pair next to a pi bond. Second, the atoms must be planar, meaning they lie in the same flat plane, allowing electron clouds to overlap. This leads to delocalization, where electrons aren't stuck between just two atoms but are spread out over many. Take ozone, for example. Its two resonance forms show the double bond shifting, but the real ozone has two identical bonds, each like 1.5 bonds, with charges spread evenly. Now, it's your turn to test your understanding of these basic resonance concepts. Try these 3 practice questions. They'll help solidify what you've just learned about identifying resonance, drawing simple structures, and understanding the conditions required for this electron delocalization. Let's step up our game. In this medium section, we'll delve deeper into why resonance is so important for molecular stability. Lewis structures are great, but they have their limits. They often can't explain why some bond lengths are intermediate, or why certain molecules are exceptionally stable. Resonance theory fills this gap, showing that electrons aren't fixed. This delocalization, where electrons are spread out, leads to resonance energy. It's the extra stability a molecule gains compared to its most stable single Lewis structure. The higher this energy, the more stable the molecule, like the superstable benzene ring. When drawing resonance structures, remember a few golden rules: only electrons move, never the atoms. All structures must have the same number of valence electrons and be valid Lewis structures. And crucially, only pi electrons and lone pairs can shift, not the strong sigma bonds. We use a double-headed arrow, not an equilibrium arrow, because resonance structures are not interconverting. They are just theoretical contributors to the one true hybrid. Let's apply these rules to the carbonate ion, co-superscript 2. We can draw 3 equivalent resonance structures, each placing the double bond on a different oxygen. The reality, the resonance hybrid, has all 3 CO bonds identical, each with a bond order of 1.33, and the negative charge is equally distributed among the oxygen atoms. And then there's benzene, the classic example. Its 2 Kekulé structures show alternating double and single bonds, but in reality, all carbon-carbon bonds are identical, thanks to a continuous ring of delocalized pi electrons, famously represented by a circle inside the hexagon. Time to challenge yourself with some medium-level questions. These will require you to apply the rules for drawing resonance structures, understand the concept of resonance energy, and analyze examples like the carbonate ion and benzene. Good luck! Ready to go even further? In the hard section, we'll explore the quantitative side of resonance and connect it to broader chemical theories. Resonance isn't just qualitative, it has measurable effects. We can calculate bond order, the average number of bonds between 2 atoms, which is often fractional due to electron delocalization. For instance, in carbonate, Each CO bond has a bond order of 1.33. Similarly, charges are distributed, leading to partial charges on atoms. Many factors influence resonance stability. More covalent bonds mean more stability, less charge separation is preferred, and negative charges are more stable on electronegative atoms. Also, steric hindrance can inhibit resonance by preventing planarity. Let's clarify some common misconceptions. Resonance structures are not in equilibrium. The molecule is a single, stable hybrid. These structures are also not real, they are theoretical tools. And they don't have individual energies. Resonance energy refers to the hybrid's stability compared to the most stable hypothetical contributor. It's vital to distinguish resonance from tautomerism. Resonance involves only electron movement within a fixed atomic framework, while tautomerism involves the actual migration of an atom, usually hydrogen, leading to real, interconverting isomers, like in ketoenol forms. Resonance is intimately linked to aromaticity, a special stability in cyclic, planar molecules like benzene that follow Huckel's rule. Aromatic compounds exhibit significant resonance energy. While all aromatic compounds show resonance, not all resonance-stabilized molecules are aromatic. Aromaticity has stricter criteria. From a theoretical standpoint, both valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory explain resonance. VB theory uses linear combinations of resonance structures, while Mo theory describes delocalized molecular orbitals spanning multiple atoms, perfectly capturing the essence of electron delocalization. Now, tackle these hard-level questions. You'll need to calculate bond orders, compare the stability of resonance structures, distinguish between resonance and tautomerism, and connect resonance to concepts like aromaticity. These problems will test your analytical skills. Alright, G aspirants, brace yourselves. This is the hardest level, where we'll explore resonance at a competitive depth, including advanced concepts and real-world applications. Let's dive into advanced concepts like cross-conjugation. This occurs when a pi system is conjugated with two other pi systems, but those two are not directly conjugated with each other. Think of it as a branching conjugation. This often leads to less effective delocalization compared to linear conjugation. It's also crucial to distinguish resonance from hyperconjugation. Resonance involves pi electrons and lone pairs, leading to full delocalization. Hyperconjugation, or no-bond resonance, involves the delocalization of sigma electrons into an adjacent empty p orbital or pi system, a weaker effect, often explaining carbocation stability. Resonance is fundamental in heterocyclic compounds, rings containing atoms other than carbon. Take pyrrole, for instance. Its nitrogen's lone pair is crucial for its aromaticity, making it less basic than typical amines because that lone pair is busy delocalizing. Similarly, in furan, one of oxygen's lone pairs participates in the aromatic system. Understanding resonance here helps explain their unique aromatic stability and how they react, often favoring specific positions for electrophilic attack. This deep insight is vital for synthetic strategies and drug design. The applications of resonance are vast. It profoundly impacts acid-base strength. For example, carboxylic acids are strong acids because their conjugate base, the carboxylate ion, is highly resonance stabilized, delocalizing the negative charge. Conversely, if a lone pair on a basic atom is involved in resonance, its basicity decreases, as seen in aniline. In reaction mechanisms, resonance explains the stability of crucial intermediates like allylic and benzylic carbocations, which in turn dictates reaction pathways and product distributions in reactions like SN1 or electrophilic aromatic substitution. This understanding is key to predicting organic reactions. While resonance is a qualitative model, computational chemistry provides quantitative validation. Techniques like natural bond orbital analysis can precisely quantify electron delocalization, bond orders, and partial charges, offering a more rigorous understanding than traditional Lewis structures alone. This modern approach helps us move beyond the visual representations to actual electron density distributions. The legacy of resonance theory continues to evolve, from its initial conceptualization to its integration with advanced computational tools, making it an indispensable concept for understanding molecular structure, stability, and reactivity across all branches of chemistry and material science. Now, for the ultimate challenge. These first 5 questions are designed to push your understanding to the advanced level. They require a deep grasp of advanced resonance concepts, their applications in reactivity, and comparisons with related phenomena. Take your time, analyze each problem carefully, and apply all the knowledge you've gained. Here are the final 5 questions to truly test your mastery of resonance. These problems delve into nuanced applications, heterocyclic systems, and the interplay of resonance with other electronic effects. Think critically, connect different concepts, and strive for precise explanations. Acing these questions means you've truly conquered resonance. And that concludes our in-depth exploration of resonance. From the basic definition to its advanced applications in G-level chemistry, you've journeyed through a fundamental concept that underpins molecular stability and reactivity. Remember, practice is key to mastering these topics. For more such comprehensive content, practice questions, and expert guidance, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for continuous learning. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep excelling. See you next time.